If you're one of the millions of people who dreads allergy season, you've probably reached for something like Claritin. But have you ever actually stopped and wondered what that little pill is doing inside your body? Well, let's break down the science of it.
So that's exactly what we're going to dive into. We're going to look at the science of Loratadine. That's the active ingredient in a ton of allergy meds. We're going to see the tiny battle that's happening inside your body and figure out exactly how this pill comes in and saves the day. Okay, so to get how the medication works, first we've got to understand the problem it's trying to solve. And with allergies, the whole issue really is that your body is just overreacting. It's basically sounding a false alarm.
We all know these feelings, right? The sneezing that just won't stop, the runny nose, those itchy, watery eyes. It's miserable. These are all the classic signs that your body has gone into high alert over something that, honestly, it shouldn't even be worried about.
And this is the absolute heart of the matter. Your immune system, which is supposed to be your personal bodyguard, right? Protecting you from actual threats, it sees something totally harmless, like a bit of pollen, and thinks it's a dangerous invader. So it panics. It triggers this full-blown, unnecessary defense. And that's what leads to all those symptoms.
So what's actually carrying out these annoying orders from your panicked immune system? Well, let's meet the main villain of our story, a little chemical called histamine. Okay, so during that false alarm, special cells in your body just flood the system with histamine. Now, the easiest way to think about histamine is like a key. This little histamine key floats around, looking for a very specific lock, which is called an H1 receptor. And when that key finds the lock and turns, bam, you get a sneeze, you get an itch, you get a watery eye.
And this is exactly where our hero, Loratadine, makes its entrance. It doesn't try to fight your whole immune system, no. It plays a much smarter game. It goes after the locks.
Check this out, it's a pretty brilliant three-step move. First, the pollen shows up. Your body releases the histamine keys. But here's the clever part. Loratadine rushes in and gets to those H1 receptors, the locks, first. It basically puts a piece of tape over the keyhole. So when the histamine key shows up, it's got nowhere to go. It can't get in, the lock can't be turned, and just like that, the allergy symptoms are stopped before they can even start.
And that's what this fancy scientific term means. In any story, an antagonist is someone who opposes the main character. Well, in pharmacology, an antagonist is something that blocks an action. So Loratadine is an H1 receptor antagonist. Its entire mission is to block that lock so histamine can't do its damage.
Okay, but hold on, because here's a really fascinating twist in the story. You'd think the Loratadine molecule that's in the pill is the one doing all the work, right? Well, it's not quite that simple.
Loratadine is actually what's called a prodrug. Think of it like a piece of IKEA furniture. It's delivered to your body in a flat pack, inactive form. Then after you swallow it, your liver gets to work. It acts like the assembly crew, using a specific enzyme to put it together. This process converts Loratadine into its active form, a chemical called desloratadine. And that is the real hero that goes out and blocks all the histamine receptors. Pretty cool, huh?
And once it's activated, how long does it stick around? A full 24 hours. That long-lasting relief was a huge improvement over older medicines. But it's not even the only advantage.
Maybe the most famous thing about Loratadine and drugs like it is that they don't knock you out. This was a complete game changer compared to the antihistamines that came before it.
I mean, the difference is just night and day. First-generation stuff, like Benadryl, it's famous for making you drowsy, and it wears off after just a few hours. But these second-generation drugs like Loratadine are non-sedating, they last a full day, and they have way fewer side effects. So, what's the secret?
The whole secret lies with this amazing piece of biological engineering, the blood-brain barrier. It's like a super exclusive bouncer for your central nervous system. Older antihistamines could just waltz right past that bouncer and start blocking histamine receptors in your brain, and that's what makes you sleepy. But Loratadine's molecular structure was specifically designed so it can't get past the bouncer easily. It stays out in the rest of your body where the allergies are actually happening without messing with your brain.
Okay, so we know how it works, we know why it's so effective. Now let's talk about the really practical part, using it correctly and safely. Because, like any medicine, you've got to follow the guidelines.
For most adults and kids over 6, it's super simple. A standard 10 milligram dose once a day. For the little ones, it's usually half that. But the really key thing to notice here is the exception for people with severe liver or kidney issues. Because their bodies don't clear the drug out as fast, the dose gets stretched to every other day. That just prevents it from building up too much in their system.
And hey, remember that special worker in the liver that assembles the drug? Well, some other medications can kind of get in its way. Things like certain antifungals or antibiotics can slow that worker down. And if that happens, Loratadine levels in your blood can build up higher than you want them to, which could raise the risk of side effects.
So here's the most important takeaway, really. While Loratadine is incredibly safe for most people, you should always talk to a doctor or a pharmacist before starting it, especially if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or taking any other medications. You just got to put safety first.
All right, let's just do a super quick recap of everything we've learned. Number 1, it's a blocker. It literally puts tape over the keyhole so histamine can't work. Number 2, it's non-drowsy because it's designed to stay out of your brain. 3, it's long-lasting, giving you that sweet 24-hour relief. And 4, that cool science twist, it's a prodrug that your liver has to activate.
So, next time you feel that first little tickle in your nose that signals allergy season is here, you'll know all about the incredible molecular battle that's about to start, and the really clever strategy that your little allergy pill uses to win it for you. It's pretty amazing science packed into one tiny pill.